very warm welcome to this District 59 special workshop on personal branding. Now, what is personal branding and how can you elevate yours? That's the question on tonight's agenda. Our guest this evening is going to give you all tools and insights on how you can elevate your own professional and personal brand at work, in the boardroom, and maybe even on stage. She's an entrepreneur, a professional host and moderator, and she's also a personal branding specialist who has helped countless professionals around the world to create and elevate their brand, making it their own. She's joining us all the way from Mexico tonight, and it's my distinct pleasure to welcome Karen Oldhoven.
Thank you so much, Natasha. And thank you everyone for being here. It's a great honor to see you all virtually. And thank you, Natasha, for this amazing introduction. And I'm happy to be here with you. And I'm going to share my screen. And before I am going to share my screen, I'm going to share my presentation with you that I created based upon, well, obviously the work that I've been doing, but also your challenges. I try to keep everything aligned and also make it one story for you so you can learn from this. That's what I want. So I'm going to share my screen right now and hope you can see it. Is everyone able to see it?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Super. Okay, there are still people entering, so I'm shortly going to start. I'm going to start off with also an introduction about myself. And I am going to share with you, let's see if it's all working. Firstly, today's route, because I'm going to welcome you and introduce myself a little bit deeper. So I want to give you a little bit more value about my story, and maybe this could be helpful to create your personal brand as well. Then we're going to kick things off with what is personal branding. I have an exercise for you. We're going to get to work because I really want to set you into motion with your goals, blocks, your skills, and then firstly, make a start, a redefinition of your personal brand. So today is the 15th of October, 2025. And maybe this is a new start for you to really, redefine everything who you are and get your new personal brand out to the world. I'm going to leave you with an actionable plan, some services, a Q&A, and then that's the end. All right. Any questions thus far? I don't think so. All right, so then I'm going to kick things off with an introduction about myself. And I was born in the Netherlands, Zutphen, in the eastern part of the country. And I want to tell you a little bit about my childhood very quickly. This is me and my sister. And I think I was here around 6 or 7 years old. And if I look at this photo, I really see a little Karen that really tried to stand up straight, because my parents, they were still together, but my dad was a very strict, dominant man. And he wanted us to really listen very carefully. He worked as a principal in a school. And before, when he was a younger man, he worked in the military. So you can imagine that it was very strict. And that really helped me creating the skills of, being the clown, making people happy and make people understand who they are. So maybe this could be an idea for you too, if you look at older photos. Now, fast forward to when I was 20 years old, I'm 40 now. I moved to LA, and that's where I worked here in this hotel as front desk, and I really worked on my language skills. Then coming back to the Netherlands, I worked 13 years in media at JC.co and DPG Media, and I worked here in sales roles, creating marketing strategies and media strategies based on the marketing funnel for brands, products, and services. Really thinking, okay, what do we need to get more awareness, visibility, consideration, conversion, and also loyalty? And back then, I decided after 5.5 years working corporate life, quitting my job, I traveled 3 months around the world, ended up in Japan. This was on Mount Fuji, and ended up in New York, where I know a lot of people and some entrepreneurs, and I was helping them tell me, who are you? What do you stand for? What are your skills? And how are you going to get there? And that's when a friend said, Karen, what you're doing is personal branding. So from that point, I started as an entrepreneur, not helping brands, products, and services, but creating brands for personalities. So this was in February 2020, and that was a month and a half before COVID hit. But it didn't let me, I kept on going. And after that, I had a speaking agency, and they helped me with, workshops, hosting workshops. I gave one-on-one sessions with clients. This was for product, music producers. And then my booking agent said to me, Karen, I believe that you can be a moderator. And I was like, well, I did some things before. Let's try it. And my first booking was Google. So that was a great adventure. But there was a lot of great things. But then back in 2023, I really hit rock bottom and I had a burnout. And that's where I somehow ended up in Mexico, where I am right now, back here in Playa del Carmen. And that's where I met my mentor when I was at the lowest point ever. And I just didn't have the energy. I just didn't want to live anymore. It sounds very heavy, but it was true. And she, my mentor, really helped me to get back on my feet and redefine myself. Who am I? What do I really stand for? What are my skills? And my homework was waking up every morning for a month long, 5:30 a.m., go to the beach, go for a swim, watch the sunrise, go back to my apartment and journal for 30 minutes. And that helped me get back on my feet. And I became an advocate for women. I always been an advocate for women, but became a head of brand and communications at TEDx Amsterdam Women. That's how I met Natasha. And that really ended up in my biggest dream. And that was presenting an event for the United Nations, and also what I do for European Commission, hosted workshops again, and now for Deloitte. And this year in March, I moved from Amsterdam to Brussels, left everything behind, from my interior to my clothes, this favorite blouse. And then I moved to Brussels this year. And in May, I went to Qatar, and that has a story. These are my friends from Kazakhstan, whom I met at an event that I was presenting for the European Commission 2 years ago. And they made it happen that I was invited by Bloomberg, which was great, for the Qatar Economic Forum. And that's where the seed was planted for the Oldhoven, my new business baby. Because my last name has a meaning. Old as timeless wisdom, Hoven is an old garden. So it's the old garden, and that represents and is the perfect metaphor for the work that I do on stage and off stage, as bringing people together. And Amol helped me creating this business baby together with Kiran, his team member, birthing my email and my website. So my website is coming on live very soon, I promise. And this is what I do. And this is what happens in the garden. And you're going to see a lot today during this presentation about the garden. And this is what I do for teams, individuals, private sessions, and on stage as a master of ceremonies. And what happens outside of the garden, that realizes for you innovation, growth, and capital in every single form. Now, with that being said, I hope this is that's everything what I do, because all I want for you is I want you to bloom with intention and also purpose, and let your passions guide you towards your dreams. And that being said, I really want to start with your challenges, because now it's all about you. Because I want to thank you, first of all, for giving us the idea what your biggest challenges are. And as I just told you, you are the garden. So you are one of these 6 flowers that you can see. And your challenges 32% of you said, I have fear. That's my biggest challenge, self-doubt, imposter syndrome. I hear you. I've worked on it a lot. 25% of you said, my biggest challenge is articulation and clarity. 15% of you said, finding one's unique value and niche. 12% said, seen as bragging. And 10% time planning, consistency. And then the other part, 8% said, public speaking anxiety. Now, actually, I want to ask, but maybe it's better just to go through, because maybe we'll get back to these challenges later. But I want you to know that it's okay to have this, but more importantly, the fear pops up usually, and same thing with articulation and clarity, when there is fear in your body. And this is something that I've worked on a lot. So I want to give you advice on that. And I have an exercise for you later. Now, the real deal is going to be, what is personal branding? So I want to open the floor to you. I want to ask you, what is personal branding? What do you believe is personal branding? Who wants to unmute themselves? What do you believe? What is personal branding? Anyone?
Your identity, what makes you you?
Yeah.
I think that personal branding takes a step further than your identity to how it is that you externalize that identity, whether it's interpersonally or it's in a written or an electronic format, the way that you show up for others to consume.
Yeah. Exactly, Marty. Thank you. Yeah. Personal branding is presenting yourself, knowing who you are, what you stand for, and presenting that with the world. And the world doesn't have to be a stage. It can be in one-on-one conversations when you introduce yourself, in meetings, or even with friends, that they know, okay, I can go to this person for this and this and that, because they have expertise in that. They can help me. They can share their value. And it's really distinguishing yourself from the rest. I mean, I've done over 150 to, I mean, maybe even 200 now. I lost count, 200 one-on-one sessions with people. And let's say that 90% of them, or even 95% of them, is creative. But creativity has a different definition to every single one of that person, every single person. So that's why it's very crucial to understand for yourself and to make another person know, how am I creative? And that's what I believe, because I want to thank you as well for your comments in the subscription form, because some of you said, you know, I don't want it to be about LinkedIn. And I believe, and that's my belief, and it's great that there are many personal branding experts out there, and I only applaud that, but I believe that personal branding starts from within. And if you look at this image that's created by my amazing friend ChatGPT, because I wanted it to be that you are the roots of that tree. You are the one that blooms in that garden, and it starts from within. And as you can see, I don't know what do you see in this image? If I ask you, what do you see here? You see roots, and what else do you see?
You see a combination from different perspectives of life. You see family, you see friends, you see education, you see work.
Yeah.
You see the different facets of life.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you, Juan. And this is exactly, it starts from within. A personal brand, it's rooted in your story. As you can see, it's the world map, because it depends, where were you born? That's why I showed you, I was born in the Netherlands. That brings culture, you know, that brings its family, exactly what Juan said. It's your origins, the layers of experience, your childhood, culture, upbringing, talents, and of course, the journey that you had maybe in school, education, and work experiences. So that is really forming you who you are today. And as you know, I show everything like a garden, and this is exactly what happens in your garden. You are the garden that's all about skills. You know, you represent yourself with roots, your origin, the seeds, But also what you do in this garden is that you introduce yourself to people and show your value. Now, when do you need a personal brand? When do you need a personal brand? What do you think?
Always.
Always.
I,
Anyone
this is-
else? When do you need a personal brand? I have
When you
some
meet
people.
somebody, when you introduce yourself,
Yeah,
how you carry yourself at all times.
yeah. Thank you, Sharon. I see people in the main chat. Oh, I see some questions. Okay, sorry. Just okay. I thought there was someone saying something about the chat, but it was just. All right. So when do you need a personal brand? I'm going to show it to you. Exactly what you just said, Sharon. When you introduce yourself to people, and there's more. When you have uncertainty about distinctiveness, skills, you need to know what you're good at. When you need a personal brand, when you have a clear communication to business relations. When you're stuck in your career, you don't know what you want, like I had 2 years ago. Want the next level in terms of responsibilities. So I'm now here in Mexico, and last week I met a wonderful woman from New York, and she told me that she's now working at this very large publishing agency, and they have an online news platform. And she said, you know, I had to be visible. You know, I always was this gray mouse, and she said, I wanted to make a promotion. And she said, I had to be visible. And so today, it's funny, because today she is launching a digital magazine with the help, but she's the editor-in-chief. And she said, I had to do it because I wanted to get that promotion. So if you want to get that, you just have to get out of your comfort zone. And another reason when you need a personal brand is fear and lack of confidence. When you present meetings, and be a speaker, moderator, or presenter like you are at Toastmasters. And that's also very important because I want to show you this, the difference. This is always a question when I get asked. What is the difference, Karen, between a personal brand and an elevator pitch? Now, I have a little video for you that I created. It's time for your elevator pitch in 30 seconds. What is your personal brand? Tell me, introduce yourself. Who are you? And what do you stand for? So if you would be in that elevator, or if I would ask you right now, who wants to share their elevator pitch in 30 seconds? I have a room and made space for one person. Is there anyone that would like to take the floor right now in 30 seconds? I know. I'm getting you out of your comfort zone. Okay, Marty, go ahead. Oh, Marty, you want to go?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Sorry. My personal goal is to live my life in such a way that my talents are maximized and the opportunities that I have to benefit the planet are also optimized.
Wow. And by doing what?
Every action that I take, I want it to be aligned with that goal. Otherwise, I don't want to spend time on it. If I'm not doing good in some way, shape, or form, then I don't want to be doing it. That's really the prism through which I assess everything.
I like that. So it's very actionable mindset. Thank you, Marty, for sharing. I'll give you an applause for doing this. Yeah. So the difference between a personal brand and an elevator pitch. A personal brand is a long-term. It represents you over time. And a personal brand is very holistic. It reflects your personality, your skills, the values and impact that you make. And that's really like the image that I just showed you with the tree and its roots, who you are and represent. It's an ongoing development, I can tell you that. Evolves with your career and experience. And it's shown through actions and behavior. Look, if you say A, but you do B, I mean, that's not aligned with your personal brand. And when it comes to your elevator pitch, it's a short term, very short term. You just saw my video in the elevator, 30 to 60-second speech to introduce yourself. It's very specific. It highlights achievements, goals relevant to a situation, like Marty just said. And situational, like if you are in an elevator, job interviews, a quick intro when you are in that garden. And it's a tool, it helps you to explain what you do. And that's what I want to show you. And then today we're going to take 3 steps. The first step is we're going to start clarifying, and we're going to kick things off with your goal later on. So get your pen and paper already. So you're going to write some things down, and then we're going to start clarifying who you are, how you stand out from the rest. Create your brand. You're going to put the pieces of your puzzle in place and then build your personal brand. And I'm going to leave you with an actionable plan, actionable steps, because without that, you know, I'm not going to leave you just hanging. I don't want that. And lastly, communicate your personal brand. Well, it has been created. And now you can practice these words. It's really about practicing and what feels authentic to you. And if it doesn't feel authentic to you, and if it doesn't align with who you really are, well, then adjust it and keep searching for the right words. And that's very important. Any questions thus far? I see some people in the chat. Let's see. We have
Can you go
2.
back one slide so I can snapshot it?
Sure. Oh, wait, sorry. Oh, wait. This
That one. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, sure. All right. So that was clear, I guess. Now, this was very interesting. This is a fact. If I know we have some analytical people out here. So what do you see here? What do you see here? PayPal pays 230,000 a year for this job that was posted on LinkedIn. What do you see here? Anyone?
Competitors pay significantly more.
Yes, and others pay more. But what does this mean? You see the role, it's head of CEO content. What does this mean? What do you see here? Anyone? They're looking for someone. Niels Jongen, dankjewel Niels. They're looking for someone to create content for the CEO and thus a personal brand. Thank you. Yes, that's exactly what I was looking for. So remember, this is a post of 2 months ago. So that was today, that's August. And in August 2025, PayPal wants to pay over $200,000 a year to post content about the CEO. And OpenAI pays $400K a year to make the CEO more visible. So what does that mean? Personal branding, they take it very seriously because they understand the following. Why personal branding matters? They understand having a personal brand, it creates visibility, it creates credibility, and people notice your expertise. Just like I mentioned before, the lady that I met a week ago, the New York lady, her name is Lena, she's amazing. It creates opportunities if you're more visible, if you speak out what you want, if you know what you want, and it can create job offers, promotions, new projects or collaborations, maybe a higher salary. It creates influence and trust amongst colleagues, clients, peers, and trust your ideas. And lastly, good or bad, but it brings career security. I would say I always think from a positive mindset. So career security, it really is about the reputation that travels with you. And wherever you go, people will know, and they'll never forget how you make them feel and what you bring to the table. But if you're not going to be able to communicate that, how do they know? Now, the Oldhoven. We're going to do a little exercise, and this exercise is all about building your confidence. And it's all about the throat. And since the throat is our mechanism for speaking and getting our words and articulation out there of what we desire and what we want, I decided, and also looking at your comments and the reflections that you gave me of the biggest challenge that you have, I needed to do this. So 30% of you mentioned the biggest challenge that you have is fear, self-doubt, or imposter syndrome. 25% of you that are here said, I struggle with articulation and clarity. Now, during my workshops that usually take, let's say 4 hours, I really go deeper into this. But now I just do want to have this throat exercise with you. 8% experience public speaking anxiety of you. So thank you for that. And that means that 50% of you feels tension around self-expression. So, what I want for you, I want to boost your confidence. And I want to do that right before we're going to go and get, start off with building a personal brand, starting off with your goals, because it's all about believing in yourself again. So let your voice carry that authority, your expertise, and the energy that you have. So I'm going to ask you for the following thing. You may sit down, or if you want, you can stand up. That's up to you. And I would like to hear you, so you may unmute yourself. And I'm going to sit down because else you can't see me. So I want you to take a deep breath. I want you to hold your hands on your chest and say 3 times, my name is Karen Oldhoven, then your own name, obviously. I am good enough. And I want you to speak from your throat and feel it every time you speak. Very important. So be very aware. Hold your hands on your chest, even if you feel the fear. I want you to say, my name is, say your name, I am good enough. I'm going to count from 3 to 1. Is everyone ready for this?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah? I want to hear you. I'm sorry, I can't hear you. So we can't start before I hear everyone.
Yes.
Yes.
There you go. You may unmute yourself. You may unmute yourself. All right. So I'm going to count. Oh, there's someone in the waiting room. We have to admit them. Larissa, you are right on time. You are right on time because we are going to start the throat exercise right now. And this is to boost your confidence, because from your insights, the challenges that you had was fear, self-doubt, imposter syndrome. And I really want to boost your confidence right before you're going to get started with building your personal brand. Great timing. All right. Unmute yourself, and we're going to start from 3, 2, 1. Okay, speak out loud. My name
I
is
am
Ellen.
I
I
am
am
good
good
enough.
enough.
I am
Good enough.
And I am good enough.
My name is Karen Oldhoven. I am good enough. Ellen,
I'm good enough.
And I am good enough.
My name is Ellen, and
I
I'm
am
good
good
My
enough.
name is Melissa Cius, and I am good enough.
Congratulations. How did that feel?
Really good.
Great.
Yeah? Anyone else who felt some fear in their chest? You don't have to tell me, but if there's anyone that would like to speak.
I feel there's power in unison.
I'm sorry?
I feel there's a power in unison. when we all
Yeah,
speak up at once. So
yeah,
it's not as scary.
right. It's not that scary. Well, I'm glad. Thank you. So whenever this is what I did before. Actually, I do every time when I go before I go on stage. I say this to myself, or I when I have host workshops, I give this because I believe it's very helpful and it can calm you down because you are good enough. You are serving, and that's all you do. You're good enough. So I hope this helps before we're going to get started, because it's time to get to work with your goals, your blocks, your skills, and your personal brand development. We're going to make a start today because it's very important. Today you are somewhere in your career, or maybe you're looking forward to step into a new phase. Who knows where you are? But what do you want in your career? What do you truly, deeply want? What does the heart want? What does the heart want? And I want you to write down, take a pen, piece, and paper. And like I mentioned in the beginning, my mentor really told me and taught me to write everything down. Write everything down, because this is how you can make your sheets come into fruition. So I want you to write down your goal or goals, make it as smart as possible. May I ask you to go on mute again, please? Thank you. Yeah, perfect. So I want you to write down your goals, seed as a seed. What do you want to achieve before a certain timeline? So think about the smart solutions. So SMART stands for, the S is for, so make it as smart as possible. Think about timing. Think about, before, I'm just going to give you an idea, before March 2026, I want to achieve this. It can be anything. Wait, yeah. So I'm going to give you 2 more minutes. It's short. So I'm going to set the alarm. 2 more minutes. Where you can write down your goals and make it as concise as possible. Yeah, specific. Thank you, Marty. Specific. I was just looking for the word. Specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time bound. Sorry, yeah, of course. Yeah. So make it as concise, specific, and time bound as possible, and relevant, achievable. That's very important. By 31st December 2023, I want to work for this and that client, in my case. So we have 1 more minute to go. One more minute. And then you can write down what you truly desire. What do you truly desire? Think about your childhood. Think about the dreams. Think about projects that really set your heart on fire. What is that deep, I've done a lot of work the past months again with my mentor, and I really went down to the deepest root. We got it. And it's beautiful. And I want the same thing for you. 10 more seconds. 5, 3, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, goes very quickly. Thank you. Everyone wrote down their goals. New seeds that are ready to get planted in your garden. Yeah? All right. I don't hear anything, so I'm assuming that's a yes. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Perfect. Thank you. And now comes more, well, a part that we don't like, but it's needed. In order for us to bloom, I want you to think about, how can my garden bloom even better? Which weeds need to be removed? And I want you to think about this first page that I showed you. Thanks to you for being so open and trustworthy of showing your biggest challenges. So I want you to look again at these flowers that maybe are representing yourself. And these are withered flowers. These 6 flowers are withered. And how are you going to bloom again? So what is your biggest block? I want you to write down in another 2 minutes. Time goes in right now. What is your biggest block? Because this is a way what we can use later on in the actionable plan to overcome, or what actions do we need in order to overcome this fear? So I want you to write down now in the next 2 minutes, 1 minute and 40 seconds, what is my biggest block? Which flower are you? Is it time? Is that your block? Or is it articulation and clarity? Seen as bragging, 12% of you that said this. 32% of you mentioned fear. 32% of you said self-doubt and imposter syndrome. I don't want that for you. I want you to bloom. One more minute for your block, to write down your biggest block. Or maybe you have several. We don't want those spider webs around us. We can't be our full selves. And the tomato plant, I mean, the public speaking anxiety. It's done now. 2026, here you are, in full bloom. Twenty more seconds. 20 more seconds for you. Juan captures this topic. Carl David. It's not David. I love that quote.
I was remembering
Juan,
about.
yeah. Can you explain what you just said in the text in the chat?
Yeah, I was remembering about this topic because it means that we need to take the things that are blocking from us, right? And then I remember this quote that they asked to Michelangelo how he was able to make David from the piece of marble, and then he said like he just removed what was not David.
Right.
So it's from us that we need to remove what is not us.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. I agree in that. And especially, you know, when you look at and that's why obviously I use the flowers, the withered flowers. Maybe we need to give ourselves a little bit more love, self-love, trust, and remove the fear. Thank you, Juan. Now, wrote down, did you write down your block? Did everyone write down their block?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Vijay. All right. Okay, super. Now, from the block, it's time to deepen our skills. And deepening our skills, I use a tool for this, of course, related to the garden. And the funny part of this whole thing is that our earth, our layers, they consist of 5 different layers. And I always use the tool, the 5YYY tool. And this helps you deepening skills. And that's exactly what I'm going to do with you. I want you to do. So that's what we're going to do next. So what is the exercise about? You're going to choose one skill, or if you're fast, or if you are, if you do this very easily, if that works easy for you, if you've done this before, then you can choose more skills. But I really want to ask you to take time for the skill, this one skill that you're going to choose. Later in this presentation, I have a full list of talents, qualities, all kinds of things, and I probably forgot about certain things, but this will help you. And there you can choose one skill, or maybe you'll think of something for yourself. And for this skill, I ask you to ask yourself in an internal dialogue 5 times why. So you're going to continue to layer down to the bedrock, which is the final motivation of who you are. And each why, it's going to dig deeper into your roots. These are the 5 questions that can help you to go deeper. You can take a photo of it, but I have another slide later on. The first why question is, if you choose that one skill later on, the first question is, why are you good at it? So you're going to write that down. Write down the question and then write down why you're good at it. Second question, why does this energize you? Write it down, answer it yourself. You're going to have an internal dialogue with yourself. The third question, why do others rely on you for this skill? And fourthly, why does this strength come naturally to you? And fifth, why, the bedrock of it all, why does this truly matter to who you are? And the result is that it's your authentic motivation. And maybe at each answer, you can pick out certain things that combine the whole package of, well, that whole flower or part of that one skill. Any questions thus far about this?
No.
Okay. So I have 3 more tips for you to think about your skills, about who you are. Sonia, can you go on mute? Okay, yeah, just put you on mute. Okay, 3 more tips to give you in order to go back and deeper into yourself and to get down to your roots. Number 1, this is, funny enough, my family tree from my baby book that I found last March. And think about your inherited skills from your parents, your grandparents, or maybe caretakers. Think about, what do I have inherited from them? You know, what do I have? The second tip, what activity or projects make you smile? Oh my God, when I do this, I forget the time, and it goes automatically. And I showed you this in the beginning. If you were here at the beginning, think back to your childhood. This is me, little Karen, and I told you, and for those who hopped in later, I love my dad, and he made me who I am today, and my mom as well. But my dad, he really was a strict person, and they're both, he really made me that very person that makes sure that everyone's happy and that they can bloom. I motivate people. So, and my mom as well, I have her social skills, but this is a photo, and maybe you can find a photo of yourself where you can see yourself again and go back to that moment. So what skill formed you through your childhood? And this is the SWOT. Who knows what the SWOT is? Who knows? Who wants me to tell you what's a SWOT?
Strengths, weakness, opportunities, threats.
Yes, exactly. And the personal SWOT is usually a tool that organizations use to understand their strengths, their weaknesses, their opportunities and threats. And that brings a new strategy, or it's a great tool to use in order to take action on their vision, their mission, and their goals. And this is the same thing that I used during workshops. And today we're only going to do strengths strengths skills. So you wrote down your goal, you wrote down your block. Now I'm going to show you, maybe this can give you some ideas, some of my strengths, and I just kept it a little bit some longer. Empathetic listener, just going to mention a couple. During childhood, I learned to read the room, people's energy and behavior. I learned how to adjust, and this is what I used on stage and off stage during workshops and one-on-one sessions with clients, and to really ask deeper questions. Process improvement. Anyway, these are just a couple of skills that I have. I like to ask the question behind the question during one-on-one sessions, or even when I'm on stage. And this is the list. This is the list. And I want to ask you to pick one talent, quality, skill from this list that resonates the most with you. And then we're going to kick things off with, well, understanding your skill. So I'm going to give you, let's say, 30 seconds to write down on your piece of paper, because that's what really works the best, and write down the 5 why questions. I'm just going to open up the chat for a second. I missed the slide. What were the 5 whys? I'm going to show you the 5 whys now. Oh, thank you, Juan. You're amazing. Okay. But I'm going to share the slide, the 5 questions again. But first, I want you to pick one talent, one quality, one skill that you have. And if you want, you can pick more, but let's start very slowly. All right. I'm going to give you 10 more seconds. Or maybe do you need a little bit more time? More time, Naveen, of course. Yeah, all right. I'm going to give you a bit more time. Naveen, just let me know when you're ready, and then I'm going to hold on to that, okay? Pick 1 or 2 skills that resonate most with you, because this is what we're going to do. We're going to really deepen that skill and make it yours. Because if you would be introducing yourself, for example, or you have a job interview, or you have an interview with your manager, boss, a leader, anything, and you want to deepen that skill, because if else everyone's going to say I'm a thinker, or I'm diplomatic. No, that's not what we want. We want to make it yours. It's your garden. Which skill do you want to deepen? Naveen? Is it working out for everyone?
Hi, thank you. Yeah, I was going through the list. There's so many good ones here.
I know.
Right.
Thank you.
I instead of 1, I picked 4.
Okay, well, sure, that's up to you. I mean, but what we're gonna do next is really deepen the skill. But all right. Okay, so you're good? We're good now?
Okay.
Yeah, Naveen, thank you. Vijay, thank you too. All right, now I'm gonna go back to the exercise. And I'm gonna show you again, for those who missed it, the 5 why questions. So this is what you're gonna ask. You have your skill. Write it down. It's very important now, not to type it, but write it down if you have a pen and paper, and else. But it's the best thing to do, to have the internal dialogue with yourself. You can be on mute. First, have the skill. Let's say that you picked, I don't know, creative. Why are you good at being creative? That's the first question you're going to ask yourself. Secondly, why does this skill energize you? Write it down. Give an answer to your question. Why do others rely on the creativity for it? And fourthly, why does this strength, being creative, come naturally? Why? This is an in-depth conversation. I really ask you to go deep and not just answer with 2 or 3 words. Have a conversation like you would have in the garden. So why, and that's the 5th question, why does this skill truly matter to who you are? So these are the 5 why question, and the bedrock, which is the layest, the 5th layer of the earth, the soil. That's your authentic motivation. And maybe you'll find something out of this. All right. I'm going to give you right now 10 minutes. So I'm going to give you 10 minutes to really go into this. And if it's too long, maybe 7, but let's give it a go for now. Wish you all the luck and really try to give it as much attention because this is the work. And maybe you can make it only until question number 3. That's all good. It's all good because remember the throat exercise, you are good enough. And this could be a learning tool for you for the next coming weeks. All right, good luck. 10 minutes go in now. And I'll be sharing some tips in between, maybe to give you some ideas. So think about the projects that you've been working on this week or last week. Why are you good at it? When did you need that skill? When was it needed? And why does this energize you? Why do you love to be creative? And the subsoil, the third layer, the third why. Why do others rely on you for it? Why? Think about the people that you've been working with. I'm just going to give you some tips and tricks. The team, your boss. And think about the positive things. Don't let fear come in here. Imposter syndrome, say thank you, imposter syndrome. But for now, I'm all about the positivity. Very important. Thank you, fear, but it's not now. And why does the strength come naturally? Maybe I gave you the 3 tips. Maybe you have to go back to your childhood for this. Like what I showed you with my dad and my mom. What made me who I am today. Maybe you can find, maybe you have some childhood photo now on your phone or somewhere around you, and you can look at it, take it with you. And then the 5th question, the bedrock. Why does this truly matter to who you are? It's part of you. It's part of your heart. It's part of your being. Like Jane Goodall said, you are here for a reason. And it's true. Make sure that you keep in the positive bubble of your skills. Positive bubble. Very important. What were meaningful collaborations? What formed you? We're now at 4 minutes. Any questions thus far from anyone, maybe in between? Do you have any answered example? Oh, no, I can do it. I can do it myself if you want. So if I'm just saying, why am I good at it? Why am I creative? Just really have the conversation with yourself. Because I can give you examples, but it's not you, right, Doga? So why am I good at being creative? Well, maybe you need to close your eyes I am creative because I love creating new projects. I love creating these presentations and find the deeper meaning and the deeper roots of it to make and very visual. And because I believe that visuals, and that's also about research shows that if we see images, we process this 60,000 times faster. And why am I good at it? I just love to find, and this is what I received back from clients, that it helped them to work on their own. And why does this energize me? Well, I can make presentations for hours. I love it. It's just, I forget the time. Maybe that helps, Doga. And why do others rely on me for it? Well, I hope you rely on it for now, because you're my audience for this personal branding workshop. It helps them grow. I want you to bloom. And why does this strength come naturally to me? I love creating. It's just, I get my laptop and it's like a tunnel. It's like not even a tunnel. It's my garden. Yeah. Creating stories, creating content to help others bloom with intention. I'm going to be quiet for a minute. We're at 6.5 minutes. How's everyone doing? Yeah?
Great. Yes.
Okay. Caroline. Okay, super. And it's okay if you can only make it to question number 3, but then you have work to do. Because this is going to help you tremendously, I promise. Very good, VJ. Yeah. And the art of answering these questions is don't answer with just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words. No. Take the floor now. Don't hold in. Because that's where the magic happens. It's like you're having a conversation with your skill. Just say thank you, skill. 8 minutes, 2 more to go. Don't let fear come in. Whenever it comes in, say thank you, but you're not mine. It's very important as well. And why does this truly matter to who you are? Again, think about projects that you've been working on. Maybe you've maybe you did something in sports that created something in you back in the day. Maybe something happened in school back in the day where you were this little person back then, the little you, and that was always, creating certain things. Sometimes you hear these people that say, yeah, I was always, I don't know, cutting or coloring or drawing or scribbling. Just write down why you're good at it and write as many reasons why you're good at it. You can write a whole list why you're good at it. You can even write this whole paper, 30 seconds, like a whole new Like new page, why am I good at it? That could be your homework. Time runs. I can't help it either, but we have 10 more seconds to go. Five, four, three, two, one. All right. Now, welcome, Ruth. Happy that you're here. You just missed the skills assignment exercise, but please feel free to take a photo of this. Right, now, let me ask you, how did this go? The 10 minutes are over, one skill. And with one skill, you know, you can work on one skill right for hours if you want to build your confidence again. And to really write a story about you and your skill. And these 5 questions help you to layer down into the earth and to really see at the bedrock, what is my authentic motivation with this skill? So I want to hear some of you, if you want to speak. How did this go? If you feel.
It can be a little bit challenging, I would say. But
Yeah.
it's really interesting exercise, really forced me to think about the talents, the skills, the traits that I have, that I believe I have.
Right. Thank you. And let's see, Ellen, how did it go for you? Ellen Milzer.
It's hard because but I have some words in a why I'm good at it. So
right
now it's the full story, bringing it all together. That's still missing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's coming next. And Ludovic Le Mercier, how did it go for you? You want to speak? Would you like to speak? How did it go for you? Okay, no. All right, well, thank you for sharing. Time is running, so I'm going to go to our next assignment, and that is a first craft of your personal brand. Caroline, oh, thank you for sharing it. It helped Caroline Tran, I'm just going to read her text in the chat, helped me to create a personal statement. My purpose is to lead with humanity, to create spaces where people feel seen, supported, and trusted to do meaningful work. I use structure to serve connection and clarity to serve compassion. Ooh. Through every project, I aim to build not just outcomes, but understanding. And then I do want to know more. I love this. Thank you for sharing this.
You're
So
welcome.
this is actually the next assignment, putting the pieces to the puzzle. And we're going to make a first start because obviously this is a lifelong journey. And there are 2 ways I'm going to ask you to do this to create a first personal brand statement during this workshop. And the first one is, as you can see on the right side of the image, creating a puzzle of you. And what you can do is you can write a few words or phrases that capture your essence. And examples here that I have, curious connector. I love connecting with people and know their stories. Calm presence, making ideas very tangible. I love that. Bridging cultures. That's why I'm here in Mexico, which I love. I feel good here. It's like my new home. Strategic clarity, empathy, and action. Just to give you some ideas. Or you want to write down your why. If you have a little bit more and you want to make a start. Mind you, this is just a training right now. It's a first start of creating something that embodies fully who you are. So I'm asking you to write a sentence that expresses why you do what you do. And this is my example. I guide leaders and executives finding clarity and confidence in how they communicate their value to the world. So you can either choose to create a personal brand statement first, option 1, to create a puzzle, or option 2, to write a sentence. Up to you. All right, I'm going to give you 4 minutes. It's going to be a little bit shorter because we have 20 more minutes, a little bit more than 20 minutes. All right. Good luck. 5 minutes. Go in now. So you're creating a first personal brand development of the things that you just wrote. So look at your skill that you just wrote down and why did you pick this skill? Maybe you want to create a puzzle of yourself. Think about, again, the projects that you've been doing and you as a child, what phrases can you write down now? What few words can tell you, I am, what are you? I connect, or you want to write down your why. What do you do? What problem are you solving? What is the problem that you're solving? What problem are you solving? Think about it. Larissa, Julita, Minshi, Ruth, what problem are you solving? Bajant Sankar, if I pronounce it correctly. Michael, Marty, Richard, Till, I think you're Dutch. Pat, Janet, Jackie, Doga, what is your value that you're adding? What problem are you solving? Natasha, Ellen, Ava, Emily, Naveen, Sonia, VJ, Sharon, what are you solving? What is your why? 2 more minutes. What makes you bloom? What makes you truly shine? Why do you do what you do? That's the deepest question that anyone can ask you. One and a half minute. Bridging cultures. Okay, how? This is all these words that I wrote down here. This is where you can use the 5 why tool also for. This is what you can do to train yourself to really go deeper into your roots of who you are. All right. We have 10 more seconds. And remember, you're making a start. Okay. All right. How did that go? Anyone? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we went
Yes.
very well, really. I
Yeah.
wrote a statement
Would
such
you like to
as,
share it? Would you like to share it, VJ?
yes,
Oh, thank you.
yes, I wrote some of the why, such as solution-oriented, open-minded, empathetic leader, making ideas implementable, because I work in IT technology, enthusiastic. And then from the the line, right? What's the why? I
Oh,
really
you did
made it
both.
as yes, because
Okay.
I found that to be a complementary to the why, because the why kind of determines what's the puzzle of you. So I wrote that, but I'll skip that. Great exercise. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Well, okay, so you did both. That's very smart as well. I mean, it's the way you train yourself to connect with your personal brand. Thank you, VJ. Is it VJ or Vijay?
BJ is okay. Karen,
VJ.
thank you.
All right. Thank you. Well, thank you for sharing. I really appreciate that. Anyone else who would like to share how it went? You don't have to share your personal brand, but just tell me how it went. Was it helpful or?
It was very helpful, very interesting to see that. First, I thought it was just a draft, but finally, I'm quite happy with what I wrote down. So, thank you for the exercise.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank yourself. Yeah. Yeah. Super. And thank you for being here. All right. Anyone else? Or else we're going to go because, of course, I need to set you into motion. So, all right. Now you have your goal. You have your block, your challenge, right? You have your skill, the first or two. Maybe you've deepened that. And maybe you still need to finish that off. The personal brand statement is there. A first, right? The first steps are there. The foundation is there. And now it's time for action because this is what I stand for. I want to set people into motion because I believe if I'm just going to say from now on bye, that you're not going to take action on it. So I always keep a deadline. So I have some action points for yourself. Take what resonates with you. You don't need to do it all, but if you really want to set yourself into motion, it would be a great idea to do this first one. Ask 3 people in your working environment to describe your skills in 5 words by the 30th of October, the next 2 weeks. So what you get is 15 words, and maybe there will be an overlap. And this is, if you feel fear in your body and say, I can't do that, you're going to say to fear, thank you, fear, but I need this in order to bloom again. Just talk to fear, I would say, because this is a way that can help you. Maybe you want to deepen your goal. What do you truly, truly want? Were you real? Were you honest with yourself? It's a very important question to ask yourself. Is the goal that you wrote down, is that real? Is that honest? So I want to give you this actionable step. Deepen your goal. If this is the goal that you want, then why do you want it so badly? Go deeper into that as well. Another thing, and this is one, write actionable steps on how to tackle your block. I gave you the throat exercise, right? That could be a way of handling it, talking to fear. My name is, whenever you go into maybe a meeting or whenever you go into a stage performance or whatever it is and you feel anxiety or fear, say to yourself, hands on your chest, my name is Karen Oldhoven, and then your own name. My name is Karen, and repeat it 3 times. I am good enough. And the 4th, find a childhood photo of yourself, like I showed you mine, and analyze it. Analyze it, go back to that moment. Try to really like close your eyes, see yourself there again, and remember what made you who you are today. Because the childhood is the period where, well, your personality is formed in most ways. So those were my actionable points for you. And now I'm going to give you 5 more minutes to write down your own actionable steps. So what else? How many other steps do you need? And write the deadline behind it as well. Very important. When do you want to accomplish this? All right, start now. 5 more minutes. Good luck. Hope all is clear. If you have questions now, please feel free to ask, to go on mute, or I'm an impact Julita, impact strategist, helping people build confidence to be visible and heard. I love that, Julita. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, Fijay. Ah, came up with action. Great workshop. That's lovely to hear. Thank you. All right. So really think about your skills. Thank you, Niels. Think about your skills. Excuse me. Your skills, what else do you need to do in order to get to that goal? Because this is going to take you closer to your blooming garden, you know? And which seeds do you want to plant? That's also in your action plan. What seeds are you going to buy? Is it going to be new connections? Is that the seed that you're going to plant? Is it working on your skills with the 5 questions every single day? Well, 1 day a week? If you really want this, you got to take action, right? It's an interesting journey. Think about your experiences. Maybe this past week, what happened? Maybe something happened where you think, okay, I need to take action now. Okay, thank you, Vijay. Thank you. I'm very grateful for your presence, Vijay. Good luck with the other meeting. Thanks for joining. Thank you, Natasha. Natasha, I don't know if she left already, but all right. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. And this is all you're doing it not for me, you know, you're doing it for you, for yourself, for your personality. Thank you, Juan. All right. And 10 more seconds. I kept it to 4 minutes because there's more to come. Well, not very much, but 3 seconds. All right. I kept it to 4 minutes. I hope that's okay. Thank you, Jackie. All right. So how did that go? Who would like to share? Anyone? Anyone? Action steps, actionable steps? Nobody wants to share? I hear, yes?
Well, I think those things are good, like you said, only when there's a date, but also you need to find an accountability partner.
Absolutely.
Because there's always, as we said, whatever group you are fit in, whatever your group to belong, that is sphere or, you know, the garden that you mentioned with the plants, there has to be an accountability partner. Otherwise, it's difficult to overcome a hurdle, let's say. Or, for example, in my case, I'm like, okay, yeah, but is this correct? Are these actions right? Or should I take different actions? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We need either a friend or a mentor, a coach, or somebody that we can weekly meet, and that's basically part of the action to, let's say, number 5, find an accountability partner and set fixed dates. That's what I was.
Well, then that's a great action for you. If that works best for you and maybe for others as well,
Yeah.
maybe you can find a accountability partner in that way.
Yeah. Thank you, Karen.
Yeah, of course. Do what works best for you. You know, some people, they want to do it by themselves. Some people would like to do it together. And this is also, it says a lot about your personality as well. You know, you like to collaborate, right? Maybe that's also a skill that you want. Maybe you like to collaborate with people. You're a team player. Maybe that's a great skill. Right, Sonia?
Yes, definitely. Like you said, like I agree with you. There are some of them they rather keep it to themselves and work alone for themselves, and other ones they would rather share or even actually have a collaboration with a teammate who does the same. Doesn't have to be maybe a mentor or coach, but maybe somebody that they, let's say, a study mate or a project mate. Yeah. So to exchange experience and challenges and progress. For sure, yeah. I think you're right. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Great idea. Yeah. Well, I'm going to move further. I hope this was helpful for you. We have 4 more minutes. So that was that. And I want to show you, in case you want to move further, you know, with the work, and you feel called to go deeper on understanding your value and you want to overcome anxiety or fear, then I offer for individuals one-on-one sessions per hour, and for organizations and for teams like I've done. So I've done sessions with clients that, you know, first I presented an event and then they asked me, what else do I do? And then that brings me to personal branding sessions. And the same thing goes for this client was with with Deloitte. So I host workshops as well. And that always includes a one-on-one follow-up because each participant has, you know, their own personalized needs and challenges. Just like Sonia, for example, mentioned, you know, your actions, they're all personal. Your challenges and your dreams, that's you. And so if you want to know more, feel free to send an email or follow me or connect with me on LinkedIn. It's both possible. It's all up to you. Now, I want to know if you have any questions because, you know, you're stepping into the garden. And this garden is, the Oldhoven garden. This is where everyone learns from one another. And this is where everyone connects with one another with intention in order to bloom again. So do you have any questions? Who has any questions? The better question to ask.
Hi, Karen. I do have a question, but it's a bit of an embarrassing one. I need reading glasses, which means that when I looked at my agenda, I was ready to log in at 8 and not at 7, so I missed a lot of it.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's very stupid. Completely my stupidity. It is what it is. I still need to get used to needing these things and actually not being able to squint at my eyes. I
Oh.
saw you're recording it. Is there a possibility to get a viewing of the recording?
Yes, I'm gonna let Juan answer this.
Yes, so we are actually recording it and we are going to upload it in YouTube.
Oh, super.
And we are gonna send the link with the material to all the people who subscribe.
Okay, and seeing as I have the Zoom, then you have my email address and I will
Exactly.
receive
So
it.
we are gonna send it by mail.
Oh, that is a relief because it looked very, very good. But yeah, when you miss the beginning, you struggle. So
Oh, thank you. Well, at least you were here.
at least I know I have a good reason to watch it.
Yeah.
No,
well, it's all for you, right?
It looks very valuable and interesting. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Ruth. Means a lot. Thank you. I appreciate it. Anyone else? Any other questions? I really made it. I made it on time. It was perfect timing with everything. Any other questions from you? Because then I'm going to show the end. I don't hear anything. So I want to say thank you all, dear Toastmasters, for being here. And, oh, I see someone in the chat. Let's see. I don't know. Sonia, you're very welcome. Thank you. Thank you too. I wish that this was helpful to you. And because that's my passion, my purpose, you know, to make you understand how to bloom again and to get rid of the fear, you know, the block, because it's so unnecessary. So if you are interested in knowing, hearing more, or you feel the need, or you feel called to do more, like maybe workshops for teams or one-on-one sessions, feel free to contact me, okay? All right. Emily, thank you. Fazanta Santa, Fazant, I have to say it correctly, Fazant Sankar. Yeah, I think you're from India. Maybe I should say Dhanyavad. Yeah, I'm right. Okay. Dhanyavad for being here. And Marion, thank you too. And I really wish you all the best. Maybe we'll meet again. Have
Thanks a
a
lot,
good
Karen.
evening there.
Thank you.
The beach. Oh, good. Super. All right. All right. That's why I do what I do, just to make you understand it. It's about clarity. All right. Well, have a great evening yourself. I want to thank Natasha. She left already, but I want to thank Natasha. I want to thank Amol and Juan and Marina. I want to thank you all for giving me this platform. And for now, I'm going to wish you a great evening. All
Thank you,
right.
Karen. And thank you, everybody.
You too. All right.